Executive Director Rapoza, would you like to report?
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. This morning, I am pleased to report that the state had an average turnout based on the last 3 presidential elections. As of this meeting, the unofficial results are 60.6% of all eligible voters cast a ballot in yesterday's election. 196,000 or 823 voters went to one of our polling places, which closed at 8 p.m. last night, which represents 24.6% of yesterday's turnout. 140,250 voters cast an emergency ballot at their city or town hall in the last 20 days preceding yesterday's elections, or 17.43% of the turnout. This turnout does not include emergency voting ballots cast in the city of Cranston. And finally, 150,250 voters have cast a mail ballot, or 18.71% of yesterday's unofficial results. As you authorized, the staff released unofficial mail ballot results early this morning. The results released were based on all the mail ballots that had been tabulated as of 12 a.m. We continue to tabulate mail ballots this morning and will continue to do so into the near future. We are anticipating the arrival of our precinct drop boxes throughout the day, as we have 3 Board of Election vans traveling to the 39 boards of canvassers to retrieve the drop boxes and return them to our headquarters. We will then commence certifying and tabulating all the eligible mail ballots that are deposited into our drop boxes yesterday. We will also continue tabulating remake ballots that have been torn by our signature verifying machine or our mail ballot, our tabulating equipment, qualified provisional ballots, cured deficient ballots, manual cast ballots in the coming days. Last night, the 39 boards of canvassers were instructed to transmit the results from their emergency voting equipment at 10 p.m. to the Board of Elections. 38 of the 39 communities have successfully transmitted their results, and they are reflected in the Board of Elections' unofficial election results, which are displayed on the Board of Elections website. The city of Cranston is the only community that has not transmitted their results due to an equipment problem. Cranston had a USB drive in one of their DS200s that captured all the votes until the drive became full. At that point, the Board of Elections went to Cranston and switched out the USB with a new USB so that the voting could continue. While the USB captured all the votes cast up to the point it became full, that upon totaling the voting equipment, the DS200 did not have the ability to tabulate all the results that were on the USB drive. Last night, before the staff secured 2,000 Plainfield Pike for the evening, the city of Cranston was asked to bring all of their emergency ballots that had been cast in the 20 days preceding yesterday's election to the Board of Elections headquarters, where they were secured for the night. It is important to note that the Board of Elections has security cameras inside and outside the building, and a security guard 24 hours a day on site. This morning, I asked the board for your approval to authorize the staff to refeed all the Cranston emergency ballots cast between Wednesday, October 14th and Monday, November 2nd into our high-speed mail ballot tabulating machines. Upon completion, we will release the results onto our website. Upon your approval, the refeeding of the ballots will begin between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. today. This morning, I spoke to Nick Lima, the Cranston registrar, and asked him to notify all the candidates that were on the Cranston ballots in advance of your authority, so that they could also be in attendance on this Zoom meeting if they so chose, and that they would be in attendance when we are refeeding those ballots at the BOE headquarters located at 2000 Plainfield Pike in Cranston.
Does the board wish to take an action?
I mean, I will move to authorize the staff and Mr. Rapoza to begin that count somewhere between 12 and 4 as requested by the director.
Do we have a second to Mr. DeSimone's motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dr. Ramos. Any discussion of the board?
I would just say one thing on that motion, that the count continue until all the ballots are fed into the machine and tabulated.
Absolutely. That's a great suggestion, Dave.
Mhm.
I'd amend the motion to that effect.
Chairman Medeiros, is it possible for us at the City of Cranston to ask a question?
I don't know who's speaking.
This is Randy Giacomoni. I'm the chairman of the Cranston Board of Canvassers.
Okay, we will allow you to speak before we take an action.
Okay. Can I go ahead? I just have a question. Sure. I was just wondering if I don't know what the nature of the issue was with the USB drive, but was the vendor able to provide any sort of assistance to try to extract the data from that USB drive before we go down the road of trying to do a recount or counting those ballots again?
Mr.
Yeah.
Rapoza, do you have a response?
They spent a good hour waiting for this equipment to try to tabulate your results. And that's when the decision was made that it would be more beneficial and expedient if we put these ballots back through the 850 mail ballot tabulating equipment that's in this building.
I mean, I for one wouldn't be comfortable with relying on the electronic information at this point anyway. I think Bob, you're right on target with what we should do.
Thank you.
I think we're going to take a vote, but did Nick Lima wanted to say something? I see his hand is up. Or is that the chairman?
Madam Chair, I just had raised it for my board chair.
Very good, thank you. Okay, any further discussion of the board? If not, we will take a vote. Vice Chairman Pierce is not here. Mr. West?
Yes.
Dr. Ramos?
Aye.
Mr. Scholes?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson, who's now present?
Aye.
And Mr. DeSimone?
Aye.
I'm in favor of it as well. The motion carries unanimously.